Oh. Hello everyone. So I will be recording this session for executing the following programs that you wanted me to discuss. So these are write an assembly language code to print my name is whatever is your name on the screen. Another program is write a program to accept a number from keyboard and display. And another is add 10 numbers. So we'll squeeze down this 10 numbers to 5 numbers, and you guys will still do that 10 numbers program. Okay. So let me start by showing you the first program. Now, first of all, recall what I have discussed in the lab class. In the lab class, I have shown you an example how you can add two numbers. You have to bring those two numbers in two temporary registers. Then you can add the number. So the idea here is like this, that I have given you the presentation on how you will execute these programs, right? So you have to go through that PPT nicely. All the information is provided there. How do you print your name on the screen? How do you get an input from the keyboard? And so on and so on. How do you print a number? How do you print a string? And so on. The idea here is that you have to put some effort in learning this tool. So basically, this is assembly language program. You have been doing programs in C, in Python, and any other programming language, which is a higher level. Assembly language is a low level language. So we are writing programs using the low level construct, that is the low level instruction. So think of, you never had to do anything like system call, but ultimately when you write printf or when you write scanf, in the background somewhere there is a system call which is allowing to print whatever you are writing onto the screen, because your screen is a hardware device. So some kind of system call happens in between so that you print the value on the screen. So the first, so the idea here is that I have provided you most of the things in the PPT. You have to read that PPT. I understand the time is pretty less, but at least within this time, let us do whatever we can from our own side. So for the first time, I'm showing you these programs, but then I will be providing you with in the next, I will be giving you some programs, and I expect you to do those programs. Fine? Okay. So let us see this assignment 2. Print my name is whatever is your name on the screen. What is dot data? What is dot? Dot is a directive which says this is your data. So whatever is there after dot data is the data. So the name I have given my name. So my name is basically a kind of variable which is dot ASCII Z type. This is a kind of data type, string data type, where we are printing my name is Ramu Iyer. Let's say. Okay. And this is nothing but the data section. So in the data section, you have to write the text that you want to print. Fine. And now in the main, that is the text section, what you have to do in the text section, again, it will start from global main, global main, and here we have to do the following. You see, what is this my name? My name is a location. Somewhere in memory, it is starting from here. My name is Ramu Iyer. Okay. So it has to first load the particular system call code for printing a string. That is the first thing. So li is an instruction which is load immediate, meaning load an immediate value into the register specified here. For the system call for printing a string, we need to load in $V0 number 4. You see my slide, it is clearly mentioned there. So I have loaded in V0 4, and we have to also load the address from where the address, what is the first address of the value which is stored in memory that you want to print. Fine. So that address, you see, is nothing but starting address of my name. Okay. So it is load address in $A. We will provide my name. So address of the string. Okay, and then you write syscall, because these are the two things that needs to be done prior to printing something on the screen, right? So I have loaded in V04, I have loaded in A0 the starting address of the string from where it will start printing, and then I do a syscall, and finally I'm loading an immediate value in V0, that is 10, for exiting from the program. Let me now run this program using the tool that I've already discussed with you in the lab class. Okay, so here you go. You know what you need to do. You have to reinitialize and load file. This is assignment 2. So I loaded it. So it got loaded in this portion, you know. And now I'll run this. For running, you have to click here. Fine. Okay. Now you click on Windows and then see the console. See, my name is Ramu Iyer. It got printed. So this is very simple. I mean, if you could have seen my, video, basically, if you could have seen my video as well as the PPT, you could have done this, right? Let's move on. The next program was, this is the next program which I've given. Read an integer from the keyboard and print it on the screen. So in the same way, for this experiment as well, you have to load certain value into V0 for accepting, for reading the data from the screen. And then what you need to do is basically print it. Fine. And then you have to display the value. Fine. So there are 3 things you have to do. First, you have to write, enter the number. The next thing you have to do is get the value. And then again, you have to display that value. So there are 3 things we will be doing it here. Let us see step by step. In the .data section, there is first message will be, both are data type of ASCII Z, message 1 and message 2. So message 1 starts with, please enter the number. Okay. And message 2 is, the number is. Fine. Let us start with the code that is written in the .text section, global main. Under main, I'll do the same thing which I did for the previous program. Load immediate $V0 4. This is the system call for printing message 1. Fine. And then load address in $A MSG1. And then I write syscall. So when I execute this, the first thing, that is print, please enter your name, will get entered into, will get displayed into the screen. And then what? Then I need to read the value from the keyboard. For reading the value from the keyboard, what you need to do is that in this register, that is again V0, the code 5 needs to be loaded. Okay, so that is the code, system call code for reading an integer. So I did that. Li load immediate $V0, 5. So it has got loaded and I perform syscall. Fine. So every time I load something into V0 and A0, you see I'm doing a syscall because this has to be performed in the hardware. Your display unit, it's a hardware. Your keyboard, it's a hardware, which you are communicating to your programs, right? And you are writing now a low-level program. So in the low-level program, you're trying to extract data from the keyboard. You're trying to display data, monitor, and so on. So these are the two things that we have done. Now, I need to do something else to display the value, right? And for that reason, I have to move $t0 in any temporary variable, the entered value. So the value which I will be entering, any number, let's say 10, 15, anything, will be stored in V0. Okay. So from V0, the entered value is in V0 and it will be transferred to T0 using this instruction. Fine. And after that, what I need to do, now I'll print the number is, okay. For printing the string, I have to load certain other things. You know what is that? That is 4. So see, li in $4 V0, I'll enter 4. And in the address which will get printed, that is message 2, the number is. Okay. So by executing these two codes, this set of codes will display the number is. Okay. And finally, that number which was entered, which was there in V0 and we transferred it to T0, that is the number which we have entered, is now needed to be transferred to A0 again for printing it. And for printing an integer in the screen, the code is load immediate in $V0, you have to use 1. Fine. So now you see what we have done in this whole program, starting from the beginning. First of all, I am displaying, please enter the number. So I've written these few codes. So it will display, please enter the number. After that, I have to write the system call to read the integer. Now you will enter the integer from the keyboard. From the keyboard, it will get stored in some place. Okay. And from that some place, we are transferring it to register T0. And after it is there in T0, we need to again print the number is. That is why this message to the number is. We are using this set of code for displaying the number. And finally, I have to display the number which I have stored in T0. So from T0, it has to be transferred to A0 and then you print it. Let's run it. And finally, it is the exit code. All right. Let's run it. File, reinitialize and load file. This is assignment 3. It got loaded and now I'll be running it. Okay, let's open the console, Windows and console. Please enter the number. So this is what I have written. So let's say I entered 56 and I put an enter. Now it is printing the number is 56. And you can also see how in various registers, the value is getting changed, right? Because these registers will get populated with the value as and when each of these code gets transferred into set of instructions and get it. This simulator that we are using. Fine. So we are done with this program as well. Let's move on with a final program code, which is add. I'll not do for 10. 10 you will be doing it. So I'll show you adding 5 numbers. Add 5 numbers stored in memory location and save the sum in the last memory location. Fine. Okay. Let's see how it goes. So here again in the data section, I'm starting the name with the name of the variable or the array basically as value, which is dot word type. Each word is 32. So this is 2, which is 32-bit. when you write a comma and then write the next word, that is also 32-bit, and so on. You see, I'll be adding 2, 2, 1, 1, and 1. And finally, I've kept one more location, which is initialized with 0. And I'll be storing in this location what? The sum. Fine. And I'm also writing a message. The sum is, it will get displayed after this. Recall, I already discussed this in the class. In the text section, what I have to do? So this is stored in a memory location, let's say with value. The first item is stored in the location value. Some memory location. You know, it's a 32-bit word. So the PC will get incremented by 4 all the time. The next memory location will be +4, which will be 2. +8 will be 1. +12 will be this one. And +16 will be this one. And in +20, we will be storing the value. Fine. Let's see how we are doing this. First of all, we'll load the address of value in T0. Load address $T0, value. Fine. And then I will be loading the word. So the address is something which you have loaded in T0, and then the value pointed by this address will be 2, which will be loaded in T1. Okay, 0, $T0. In T2, I'm storing 4, so the next one, this will be 2. In $8 I'm storing 1. And in T4, I'm taking this one. This is the 16th one position. And this will be the 20th one. Okay, so I'm taking the first 5 elements from this array value, okay, which is dot word type, which is stored in T1, T2, T3, T4, and T5. I hope this is clear to all of you. Now I'll be simply adding. What I'm doing here is I'm adding T1, T2 and storing it in T6. See, add T6, which is the destination register, along with T1 and T2, storing it back here. Similarly, I'm adding T3 and T4 and storing it back in T7. So now in T6 and T7, I have these two values. So I'm adding T6 and T7, I'm storing it in T8. And finally, I have to add the last value, okay, which is in T5. So I'm adding T in T8, the content of T8 plus T5. So basically, I was using some instruction like add R1, R1, R. Similarly like this. It is converted into this registers value, which is present in your MIPS architecture. Fine. Finally, I have added and my value is stored in T8. Now, how do I store the value? For storing the value, all you need to do is that you have to use an instruction, store word. Store word means in that particular location, the value will be stored. So in T8, the final added value is stored. So here 2 plus 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 will be stored in 20 T6 in this location. Fine. And I want to display it. What is there in T8, whether it is the sum or not. So in the same way, you have to write the sum is. So I'm writing these set of codes, which I've just explained in the previous question. And then I move T8 to $A0. Okay. In $A0, I have to have this value. Okay. And then for printing an integer on screen, the code is in V0, I have to load 1. You have also seen that. And then I perform a syscall. Fine. Another set of instruction is missing here. Let me add it. Load immediate $V0 and 10 for exit, right? And then syscall. That's it. Let me save it and let me run it. File, reinitialize and load file. Pick it up. Take this. It is loaded. Let me run and open the console. Where is it? Windows here. So the sum is 7. We'll check with another set of numbers. Okay. Let's change this to, let's say 2 2 2. Let's make all 2. So the sum should be 10, right? Let me save it, and then I will close the console, and then I'll again reinitialize and load file. Okay, and then I'll run it. Windows console, that is fine. So now I've executed all the programs for you. Now I'll be giving you a set of programs for the next lab, which you have to do it by yourself and you have to show it to me. Fine. Thank you so much.